Okay, we're now going to look at some problems associated with the discriminant. So we've already looked at the discriminant being b squared minus 4ac, and it comes from the quadratic formula. We've calculated the discriminant and we've stated the nature of the roots. And we're just going to take it to the next steps. Let's try a equation and see what's involved. Okay, question 1. The equation 3x squared plus 2x plus t equals 0 has equal roots. Find the value of t. Okay, now to proceed with this, the first thing that we'll do is identify a, b and c. Well, a is 3, b is 2, and c is, well, it's definitely t. So it's an algebraic term, but that's fine. That's absolutely what it is. So a equals 3, b equals 2, and c is t. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to put down is a statement to the marker to tell them that I know what's the condition for equal roots, which is b squared minus 4ac equals 0. And I'm just going to explicitly state that. So b squared minus 4ac equals 0 for equal roots. Now the problem in this question is that I need to identify the value of t. I know that the discriminant is equal to 0, I know that a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, and c is equal to t, and I've just taken that from the fact that I'm thinking about this as being in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we can see a is definitely equal to 3, b is 2, and c is t. Okay, now my next move is to sub that in. So b squared, well, b is 2, so that's 2 squared. 2 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is t, is equal to 0. I've then got 2 squared is 4, and I've got minus 4 times 3 times t. Well, minus 4 times 3 is minus 12, and minus 12 times t is just minus 12t. Okay, now this thing is just morphed into a simple equation, so just solve it as such. 4 over both sides will give me minus 12t is equal to 0 minus 4 is minus 4. I'm then going to bring that minus 12 down and divide. The two negatives cancel out to give me a positive, and I can simplify that down to positive 1/3. That's the question answered then. I was looking for t, and t is equal to 1/3. Okay, example 2. Example 2, the equation x squared plus 4x plus n equals 0 has no real roots. Find the range of values of n. Interesting that I've been asked to find a range of values, so that will be more than one value can be possible for n. Okay, so next point to note is that no real roots. Well, that means that the roots are unreal, which means that the discriminant is less than 0. So let's make a statement again. B squared minus 4ac is less than 0 for unreal or no real roots, both of which mean the same thing. Okay, so let's now identify a, b and c. Well, I can see that a is 1, b is 4, and c is n. A is 1, b is 4, and c is n. Okay, so let's put that into b squared minus 4ac being less than 0. B squared is 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is n, is less than 0. I've then got 16 minus 4 times 1 times n is 4n, is less than 0. Last time I had an equation at this point. This time I need to solve an inequality, so I just need to move to that skill that I've already learned. Now remember that you solve inequalities in the same way as you solve equations. There's only one difference, which is if I need to divide through by a negative, I will need to flip the inequality around. Okay, so 16 off of both sides, and I'll get minus 4n is less than 0. Take away 16 is minus 16. I'm now about to divide through by a negative number, and that negative number is, well, it's negative 4. I'm going to bring the negative 4 down, divide. Now since I'm dividing by a negative number, I need to flip the inequality around. That's the routine for that. Okay, so it now becomes more than, n is more than, well, negative 16 divided by negative 4, the negatives cancel each other out. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Final answer, n is greater than 4. That means n can hold any value which is more than 4. Okay, example 3. The equation 2x squared plus 6x plus p equals 0 has real and distinct roots. Find the range of values of p. Okay, so first thing is we know that the roots are real and distinct, which means b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. Okay, so let's make that statement. Next move is to identify a, b and c. A is 2, b is 6 and c is p. And let's throw them in here. B squared 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is p, is greater than 0. 6 squared is 36, 36 minus 4 times 2 times p, that's minus 8p, is greater than 0. Okay, so I'm now solving this inequality. Letters to the left, numbers to the right. 36 off of both sides, and I've got minus 8p is greater than minus 36. I'm now going to be bringing this minus 8 down and dividing, which means from inequalities I know I need to flip the inequality around. Minus 36 divided by minus 8. Okay, so the negatives will cancel each other out to give a positive, and I can also divide top and bottom by 4 here, which will bring me down to 9 over 2. So p is less than 9 over 2, final answer. Okay, example 4. The equation tx squared minus 5x plus 3 equals 0 has real and unequal roots. So real and unequal is just another way of saying real and distinct. So they're there and there's more than one. So interchangeable terms there, real and distinct and real and unequal means the same thing. Find the range of values of t. Okay, so let's make a statement again, which is if the roots are real and unequal, the discriminant is greater than 0. So b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 for real and unequal roots. which might have also been phrased meaning the same thing, real and distinct roots. Okay, let's now identify A, B and C. A is T, B is minus 5 and C is 3. Okay, and let's sub things in now. So B squared is going to be minus 5 squared, so let's wrap a bracket around that, minus 4 times A, which is T, times C, which is 3, is greater than 0. Minus 5 squared is 25. Okay, I've got minus 4 times T, which is minus 4T. Minus 4T times 3 is minus 12T, is greater than 0. Let's solve the inequality. 25 off both sides, minus 12T is greater than minus 25. I'm now going to be dividing through it by a negative, so I'm going to flip the inequality around. Two negatives cancel out. Have a quick check. Can I simplify it? No, I can't. So final answer, T is less than 25 twelfths. Okay, and example 5. The equation (2x squared plus tx plus 1 equals 0 has equal roots this time. Find the value of t given that t is greater than 0. The question then says give your answer as a surd in its simplest form. Now, there's really then two parts to this question. There's the first part, which is to find the value of t. The second part is then to give your answer as a surd in its simplest form. Now, you can only really do this second part of this question if you've learned about the separate topic surds. So if you haven't done surds, you don't really need to bother doing the second bit of the question because it might be a bit confusing for you. But if you've learned surds, then you would definitely have a go at that. It's simplifying the surd after you find the value of t. Anyway, let's go with a statement which is for equal roots. B squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay, so that's a communication point there that I want to communicate to the marker. Okay, let's now go through the routine of identifying A, B and C. So A as 2, B as t, C as 1. And remember, that's coming from the fact that I'm thinking about this in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A is 2, B is t, C is 1. Okay, so b squared will be is equal to t, so that would be t squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 1, is equal to 0. I've then get t squared minus 4 times 2 times 1, so 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 1 is 8, and I've got a minus there, minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, so t squared is equal to 8, and then t is equal to plus or minus the square root of 8. Remember that when you take the square root, you get a positive and negative result. However, I'm only going to explore the positive result because the question did say that t was greater than 0. Okay, so if you've not learned surds, that's really the final answer, but if you've done surds, we would expect to go a bit further. So root 8 is definitely a simple surd. which can be simplified. Let's think about our square numbers. If you haven't done surds, then you can just ignore the rest of this. You would just leave things at root 8. So remember, for surds, and to simplify a surd, let's think about square numbers. Identify the biggest number on the list, which is a factor of 8, and that's 4. So that would be the square root of 4 times 2. That's root 4 times root 2, and root 4 is 2. Final answer would be 2 times root 2 to root 2.